This is a chicken starter kit, and I'll also include duck because it's very similar. So you just got your first chicken, and you will need water. They call these things poultry fountains, and my favorite one is this one here. The only downside is opening it and closing it. It's somewhat difficult. So even though it's my favorite, I can see other people may not like this one. The biggest upside with this one is that apparently it can withstand a lot of sun. So you can have it for years and it will survive. The next one that's pretty good is this one here. It is easier to open. I could see it being easier for other people as well because it's lighter, made out of plastic. So this is a good option. And the third one here is probably the easiest to open. Of all the three, this is very easy to open, so I can see this being other people's favorites. So that is water. After water, you will need food. So these food trays are called poultry feeders. The reason why they're like this is that you have to prevent chickens as well as ducks from pooing in their food. So there's the mechanism with the metal. They can get their head in, get the food, but not poo in it. I'll be honest, I actually take the metal off and I mostly use it without the metal, so I deal sometimes with the poo. This is probably the best one based on its strength, but it does have a weakness. If I give the ducks or chickens live feed that is in water, so my example of live feed would be minnows. You put minnows in water, that metal one will drain the water, so the minnows will die pretty quick. So the other option is this plastic one here. It is smaller, also useful. They don't poo in this one as well. And if you put the water with a minnow, it'll live here and they can have fun eating live food. They really like food that is alive. Next is chicken feed. You have to go to a feed store, so I don't believe this is in pet stores. I think you have to go to a farm feed store. You have to call around or ask your neighbors. And this is what chicken feed looks like. If you're getting a duck feed looks very different. And it looks like this, but chickens enjoy it too, but they're not designed for it. It's actually only designed for duck. You will need to transfer the bag of food into that little tray. And this is an example of a scoop. You can pretty much use anything for a scoop. You can even use like a tin can and scoop it that way, but people like to get the proper scoop, so you can get something like this. I have this as well as a plastic one, so that's an option. After food and water, you will need shelter. So online, this is an example of a chicken coop. I don't have this at all. I'm not in the suburbs. I have a barn, I'm in rural. But something like this is needed where you have a safe place for them to stay overnight. Chickens, as well as ducks, to my knowledge, have no night vision. So at night, they are not able to defend themselves. You have to have them in a place that's closed off. And then during the day, they have to be able to kind of walk around a little bit. But if you just got a chicken or a duck, I recommend the first 7 days, you don't really let them out. You keep them in a confined place and you establish a schedule with them. So they always know in the morning and evening you do water, and in the evening do dinner. So it's guaranteed every night we get food, we get full belly, and then we can sleep. And that way you make sure that if you do let them out to free range, they will come home at night and they will be expecting you to be there and saying, where's the food, where's the food, where's the food? That's what you want. You want them always coming back. Again, this is a chicken coop I do not have. It does seem like it would work. It was well reviewed online, but I don't actually use it, so I don't know if this is a great coop or not. But they will need shelter. Now, everything I just said about water, food, and shelter doesn't matter if you have predators and they kill all your chickens and ducks. So basically, if they discover the home where these birds live, within a day or two, everyone will be dead because they'll come there first time, get some food, and the next day tell their family, and they'll come back and they kill your birds. So you need to have a way to protect them. Now, I had an issue with coyotes. They never found the barn, but they found 2 ducks that had left the barn. I'm pretty sure one of them had died, and the other one came back saying, you know what, life out there is too crazy, I'm coming back home, and they came back home. So coyotes is my main issue. The solution I use to get around the coyotes is barn animals. So I've got a barn dog and a barn cat. Again, the cat is actually prey for a coyote. Coyote will eat a cat, but the dog no. And of course, if you can get other barn animals like a donkey, they will defend the barn from any predators, and the birds will have some safety. So coyotes is a big problem. Another one is fisher. They will totally kill your birds. In my area we have fishers, so I know this is a serious problem. I have to be on the lookout for them. If you're in a more semi-rural or suburban area, your biggest predator to your birds is raccoons. They will kill your birds without any issue. So again, this is an important factor. The fourth piece, I've seen people who have chickens and all of them get killed because of predators, and they don't take care of the predators, and yeah, everything's gone. So you have to set it up. All four have to be done correctly to keep your birds safe and sound. Now, there's another thing with the coop I should have mentioned earlier. I made a mistake. The coop does need to have some kind of bedding. So you can put straw in there or cedar, something that makes it feel organic. You can't have like a flat, floor. It has to feel like something organic for the chickens as well as ducks. If you want to free range them, make sure it's in a safe area and that you kind of watch them to make sure they don't do anything kind of outside the norm. If they're pretty reasonable and they stay in a safe area, then you can say, okay, free range. But if not, keep them inside a closed area, and of course at night protect them. I do have a disclaimer for this video. I only have months worth of experience. So if you're a beginner like me, you're listening to another beginner. So some things I'll have the advantage of, which is I remember, oh, I need this is very important. But then I also have a disadvantage of I can't tell you 5 years experience, 10 years experience on how to handle chickens. My advice would be to rely on trusted experts. So trusted experts is a concept of they have two things you trust. Number one, their motive. Their motive is good for you, and also their knowledge. They have a lot of experience. So say you go to a commercial place and they're selling like chickens like crazy and they're doing really well. Their motive may be just to make money. So even though they have lots of experience, when they give you advice, it's only about making their life better, not your life better, or your chicken's life better. Or you can have the inverse, someone who is very good-hearted and they want the best for you, but when they speak, they don't speak with knowledge. So I would say, of all the advice to take, don't listen to what people say as much as what they do. I've had people come on the farm and give the advice of getting certain animals. Then you ask the question, oh, do you have that animal? And they say no. Yet they want you to get the animal. They have a whole big, example why you should get it. They have a long list. But then you ask them directly, like, oh, you have that animal too? And they go, no. So there's an example of not listening to that advice. But also, if someone say they come over and they see your setup and they do have birds and you have birds, and say, you should do this with your birds. And then you say, do you do that? And they say no. So again, you have to kind of filter that out. Just focus on what people do and don't look at what they say. Also, if you got the chicken from me, you can call or text if you have any more questions that's beyond the starter and beginner level here. All right, have a good day. Bye.